This is WCPO 9 News.
Thanks for joining us for WCPO 9 News. I'm Lisa Smith. Here's a look at some of today's top stories. Police officers in Middletown are looking for the suspect behind a deadly bar shooting. It happened just after 2 Sunday morning following a fight at the 513 Lounge on North Verity Parkway. Investigators say numerous shots had been fired in the bar's parking lot, with bullets hitting 3 people. One of those victims, 29-year-old Jerome Hill, died at the hospital. The other 2 victims are expected to survive. The Northern Kentucky community is mourning the death of a local business leader and former Kenton County Judge Executive Ralph Drees. He led the home building firm Drees Homes before entering politics. In a statement on Twitter, Fort Mitchell Mayor Jude Heyman said of Drees, "We lower our flag for a pioneer who built his legacy through years of outstanding community leadership." Drees was 86 years old. More people in the tri-state are eligible to sign up for COVID-19 vaccines starting Monday. That's when anyone 16 and older can get vaccinated in Ohio. All Kentuckians and Hoosiers ages 40 and up are also eligible to get the vaccine. Kentucky's governor says he also plans to extend the state's mask mandate. This comes after Indiana announced the mask mandate there will expire April 6th. And now it's time to check in with Sherry with a check of the weather. Sherry.
Well, we are looking at some chilly temperatures overnight, going down into the upper 20s, low 30s, and then we see clear skies. The winds will be lighter as well. But look at the ride home for your commuter cast. Lots of sunshine, and temperatures will be seasonable in the upper 50s here for us. May even get to a 60-degree temperature, if not on Monday, certainly by Tuesday, 68, but then temperatures fall as we see the next front coming in Wednesday with rain. For opening day, it's only going to be near 40.
I'm Josh Bazan. New research is giving us a better picture of how big an impact the coronavirus pandemic is having on people here in the tri-state. We'll explain why some experts say the toll on mental health could last years. With nearly 550,000 deaths and more than 30 million cases of COVID-19 so far in the United States, the massive direct impact of the pandemic is obvious. But new research led by Interact for Health is providing data about other negative outcomes.
It just points to that additional toll that it's taking on our community.
A scientific survey of nearly 900 people in the tri-state found that 1 in 3 people say the pandemic has made their mental health worse. Only 7% thought it improved.
We know that coping with stress during a pandemic in positive ways can be really difficult. These are, we're all facing enormous issues, and that varies from person to person.
Kelly Adcock with Interact for Health says things like social isolation, economic issues, and concerns about getting sick from COVID-19 all play a role in how people are handling the pandemic. And the group says when and if we do get beyond those immediate physical impacts of COVID-19, these less visible effects will stick around.
It's critical that we talk about this issue now, try to help people address the immediate effects of the pandemic on mental health, but also as a community prepare for its ongoing effect for years to come.
The group says people struggling with their mental health should take breaks from the news and social media, take care of their physical health by going on walks or exercising, connect with friends or people for support, and think about talking to their doctor about professional support. The survey also found a smaller portion of people saw negative impacts on their physical health this past year.
Mental and physical health go hand in hand. Things that people do to cope with stress can also improve physical health.
Interact for Health is also planning to soon break down additional data on the financial impact of the pandemic and how it's affecting tobacco and opioid use. Reporting in Mount Adams, Josh Bazan, WCPO 9 News.
Streaming TV services are so popular these days that now almost all the Academy Award nominees are available to stream. So, which streaming service is best? Want to see the Oscar nominees? A half dozen of the biggest ones are on Netflix that racked up 35 Academy nominations. They include the late Chadwick Boseman's Ma Rainey, also Glenn Close's Hillbilly Elegy, and The Trial of the Chicago 7. A new survey by the cord-cutting website Flixt found the favorite streaming service is Netflix, with others not even close. 83% of people preferred Netflix, followed by Hulu at 51%, then newcomer Disney at 44%. Next was cable TV, followed by Apple Plus at the bottom. Peacock and Discovery were too new for the survey, and Amazon's not considered a full streaming service. And from the Doesn't That Stink file, the problem with Apple TV Plus. Flick says viewers gave it low marks for both its variety of programming and its user interface. And that stinks. The one good thing about Apple TV Plus, its price. Just $5 a month, or free if you buy a new iPhone or iPad, which makes it a great service if you're on a tight budget. So if you want a service with the most Oscar nominees, Netflix wins hands down, so you don't waste your money. I'm John Matters, WCPO 9 News.
As of today, 71% of individuals 65 and over have received at least one shot. That's important because seniors sadly account for 80% of COVID deaths.
As the vaccination numbers continue to rise, there's more good news regarding the storage of the Pfizer vaccine. The European Medicines Agency has new data which shows the Pfizer vaccine can be stored at normal freezer temperature for 2 weeks. The new storage option gives more flexibility with its distribution, as the Pfizer vaccine originally had to be stored in expensive ultra-cold freezers. Colorado prosecutors are still searching for why the shooting suspect killed 10 people at a grocery store on Monday. A Boulder district attorney says finding the motive is the focus of the investigation.
The victims' families and the community are desperate to know the motive. We want to know the motive, and that's going to be the focus of all our efforts going forward. Whether or not we're able to determine it remains to be seen.
21-year-old Alyssa is expected to face additional charges in the next couple of weeks. The district attorney says those will include attempted murder charges stemming from the gunfire exchange with responding officers. The storms that spawned tornadoes killing at least 5 in Alabama struck western Georgia on Friday. Firefighters went door to door in Noonan to do safety checks and to help with downed trees and assess structural damage. Tornado warning sirens went off, giving the city's 40,000 residents 15 to 20 minutes advance notice. At least one person died in Georgia.
Very catastrophic damage, just stuff that's unbelievable. I kind of think about this kind of stuff when you look out in the Midwest.
The new American Rescue Plan will help millions of Americans and businesses immediately, but economists say it won't help unemployment return to normal for years. We spoke with one who explains why it might take so long.
We are in a jobs hole that's on the order of 12 million jobs.
Where most labor economists might see numbers,
It's just enormous.
Heidi Shearholz sees people.
I see the real people's lives. It's not abstract.
I missed the first part because my son was making a lot of noise. Can you repeat that, please?
People like Stephanie Dudley, who now knows the loving struggle of a life as a full-time mom having lost her job last March.
I feel like they're at 11 of the average boy scale, if it were to go up to 10. Hi.
For the better part of the last year, they have been her reality.
What's it been like spending a lot of time with your mom when she's been at home?
I don't really know.
2 sons, ages 11 and 8, who provide distraction from the daily disappointment of not being able to find work.
I think overall it's sluggish.
Although unemployment right now is well below its April 2020 high, it is still nearly twice as high as pre-pandemic levels.
This will help so many people. It's just a sort of a groundbreaking package.
Heidi says the American Rescue Plan passed by Congress gives imperative. She says those $1,400 checks will be a huge boost to people and the economy, but not necessarily unemployment, even though more loans are coming to businesses.
It takes more time, to have a business get formed, built, happen, hire people. So it's not going to happen overnight.
In its most recent report, the Congressional Budget Office said the U.S. economy would reach its pre-pandemic output by this summer, which is faster than expected, but says unemployment won't reach its pre-pandemic level until the year 2024.
We know that things will be improving by then, but we are still going to have a big jobs hole on September 6th. There won't be enough jobs to go around by then.
It's why Heidi wishes the unemployment benefits were extended longer in the plan, knowing this issue will be around to stay.
I'm not really playing a game or anything, even though there's a Switch right here.
Even if it has given some parents the opportunity to mom like never before.
But together they can be pretty rowdy. But a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
I'm Dan Grossman reporting.
A new study shows almost half of healthcare workers across the country are still not vaccinated against COVID-19. Medical experts say those numbers are concerning for many reasons.
What about you? Do you know people who didn't get vaccinated?
I do.
Despite being a frontline healthcare worker during the COVID-19 crisis,
it's been a challenge working long shifts here.
Registered nurse Deborah Torres was concerned about getting vaccinated for the virus.
I wanted to see how my other coworkers that were getting vaccinated, how they did.
She waited a month after it became available. Then Torres got the Moderna shot. She says it caused all kinds of physical side effects.
I got the chills, nausea, dizziness. I had a fever, and I was very fatigued. And that lasted for an entire day.
Torres works at a major hospital in Southern California.
I know people who get bad reactions when they get the flu shot, and so they don't want to get the COVID shot.
Or many of her coworkers are still reluctant to get vaccinated.
It's not that they're anti-vaccine, it's just that they're hesitant right now because it's new.
A new study by the Kaiser Family Foundation in partnership with the Washington Post found 48% of frontline healthcare workers, nearly half, are unvaccinated, which is concerning for some medical experts.
So it's also a patient safety issue. If you get vaccinated, you're much less likely to give COVID in the workplace.
Dr. William Schaffner is an infectious disease specialist with Vanderbilt University Medical Center and a consultant for the CDC. He understands the concerns healthcare workers have about getting vaccinated, but says when they don't, it could increase transmission rates and also impact others' decisions.
If the nurses don't get vaccinated and people ask them and they discover that the nurses are wary, of course, because nurses are trusted, the neighbors and friends will be wary of getting vaccinated also.
While Torres did get vaccinated, she still supports her coworkers that haven't.
I don't have any judgment towards them, and I don't think any different from them.
Saying it's normal to be nervous about something new.
I think a lot of people, for the most part, it's a safety issue.
Even when working the front lines of a pandemic.
If you don't want to get vaccinated, it's your choice. It's your free will to do that.
I'm Kai Beach reporting.
As we process a pandemic and the shootings in Atlanta and Boulder, it's okay to feel stressed and anxious. Health experts explain what we're experiencing and what we can do to help. Time and time again, we see mass shootings send a ripple effect through our communities, causing fear, sadness, and a mix of other emotions. The recent shootings in Boulder, Colorado at a grocery store killing 10 and in Atlanta at massage parlors killing 8 can be difficult to digest.
When something like this happens, everything gets turned on its head. I almost think of it like a balance. I feel completely safe. I feel like if I go outside, my life will be in horrible danger. It kind of shifts the balance over towards that fear side of things.
Dr. Joseph Sochet is a psychiatrist. He says this just compounds with the emotions we've already been feeling throughout the pandemic.
During COVID, anxiety was up, depression was up. People that were predisposed to have paranoid thinking had more paranoid thinking. Once you're kind of primed to be afraid, you can be more afraid.
Health experts say we were already dealing with this flux of anxiety and stress.
It's almost like we're already set to be sensitive because we've been dealing with so much stress over the past year. There are two types of stress. There are those things that we can get control over, and there are those types of stress that we have no control over, right? Like a mass shooting, like When's the next one going to happen? Well, nobody knows.
But there are processes we can think through to help ourselves and others.
The best thing that you can do when you're feeling stressed is just to say, I'm stressed. Like, just own it. Our fight or flight response is in the amygdala part of the brain. And when we acknowledge that we're stressed, it actually goes to our frontal lobes where we problem solve. And then you can kind of unpack it. It's like, what am I stressed about? What am I worried about? And then you can look at, is this something I can get control over?
Dr. Carl Clark, president of the Mental Health Center of Denver, says from here you're able to get your stress levels down. Another tactic, he says, is to pick a time of day to be stressed.
What it does, though, is it allows you not to be stressed 24/7.
And finally, focus on self-soothing techniques.
One of the basic ways to self-soothe is repetitive rhythmic motion, dancing, running, physical activity, meditation. There's all kinds of things that people can do.
As we've been told repeatedly over the past year to physically distance from one another, both Dr. Clark and Dr. Soche want to remind everyone that connection and the ability to talk things out with others is crucial.
It's about talking to people and making sure you feel connected. There's no medication that I can prescribe or any therapy I can recommend that will give people a sense of closeness to others that we need.
And so whatever your reaction is, that's it. It's okay. Being able to talk about it, though, is very helpful.
I'm Chloe Nordquist reporting.
Some employees of Darden restaurants are getting a raise. Darden owns several major chains, including Olive Garden, Cheddar's Scratch Kitchen, and Longhorn Steakhouse. The company says its hourly employees will be taking home at least $10 an hour, including tips, starting next week. That will increase to $11 next year and to $12 in 2023. The change will affect about 20% of workers. With hopes the travel industry is going to bounce back to pre-pandemic levels, JetBlue has launched a new travel site. The new JetBlue travel site provides hotels, car rentals, and activities personalized based on your flight info. Customers using the site will earn True Blue frequent flyer points that they can redeem for other travel rewards. One selling point for the travel site is that JetBlue claims its award-winning customer service people will be available to troubleshoot or answer any questions.
Hello, everyone. I'm 9 First Warning meteorologist Sherry Hughes. We had some chilly temperatures today. We started in the 60s after midnight, but temperatures fell into the 40s during the afternoon, and the winds have been gusting into the 30s. I think the highest gust I saw was about 37 miles an hour. Well, the good news, the winds are going to decrease as we go into the overnight, and certainly as we go into tomorrow or your Monday, we'll get the winds out of the west and also mainly a little bit of a southerly flow by Tuesday, but winds will die down to about 5 to 10 mile an hour for your Monday into Tuesday. Tuesday, though, it's going to go back up again. Here's the way it looks for this evening. We've had the clouds as well. Clouds will disperse. We will gradually see mostly clear skies in the overnight hour. By about 2, we're at 34. I think we'll bottom out around 31 degrees. Then as you get up in the morning, we see those temperatures go back from 30s to 40s at noon, and then 50s, which are seasonal temperatures during the afternoon. And notice every day part has sunshine and lighter winds out there. So it's a pretty good start to the week, but we're going to have a good bit of temperature swings as we go through the week. Look at Tuesday, 68 degrees. Wednesday, our next chance of rain, and temperatures down to the 40s. Behind that cold front, opening day for the Reds will be a chilly one, and we'll have breezy conditions, which means that 40-degree temperature will likely feel like the 30s. But we have mostly a dry week with the exception of Wednesday's rain.
At the beginning of the pandemic, Alex Lucas says he got COVID-19. When he got better, some symptoms didn't go away.
Probably for a good month, I was like a zombie.
He could only walk for a few minutes on the treadmill due to breathing problems.
I couldn't think straight. Every joint hurt, every muscle hurt.